This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is poppin' with you? It's your boy. Yes, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. Just the NBK intro right there. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's break this thing down. Let's get to the game, ladies and gentlemen, because the Knicks are in a must-win situation tonight. They got to beat the Atlanta Hawks. No two ways about it. They got to beat the Atlanta Hawks tonight. They got to. If they don't beat the Hawks tonight, it's gonna be scary. Or I don't want to say scary. It's gonna be a problem. Down 2-0, it's going to be very difficult for the Knicks to come back from down 2-0, going to Atlanta to play 2 games. And I know Atlanta's filled with Knicks fans and all of that kind of stuff. It's all good. But down 2-0, even if you split, you're still down 3-1. Very difficult to come back from, especially for a team that, doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. You know what I mean? So, we need the Knicks to come off with a big win tonight versus the Atlanta Hawks. How are we going to do it? That's the question. How are we going to defeat this team? Especially since one of our best defenders could possibly be out the game. We'll talk about Nerlens Noel. Now, we know Nerlens Noel, he's not guarding Trae Young. Right? He's not playing defense on Trae Young. But what he provides for us is essential in his rim protection. And of course, they got a big guy down there in Clint Capella that can be dangerous from his offensive rebounding to his ability to set screens, pop off that screen, roll off that screen, should I say, and catch the alley-oop. So we need Nerlens Noel, and he is questionable for tonight's game. He's day-to-day. Questionable for the game tonight. So we will, we'll see what we get from Nerlens Noel. Hopefully, he's well enough to be able to go. If not, Taj Gibson will start in his place. And then the question is, if Taj Gibson is the starting center, who's going to back him up? Is it going to be Novell Pell? Does Tom Thibodeau trust Pell enough to use him in a playoff game? Or is he simply going to sit back? Not sit back. I don't want to say sit back. Is he going to play Julius Randle at the small ball 5 instead of bringing in Novell Pell? That's going to be, that's a question. And listen, all season long, the Knicks have had the next man up mantra, and it's worked. This the playoffs. It's a little bit different. You can get away with it in a one-game scenario when you're missing a key player. But if in a playoff series, if you're missing a key player, well, that allows teams to be able to expose the weakness of the player that you're bringing into the game. Because when you're missing a key player, a starter, let's say that, when you're missing a starter, that player is a starter for a reason. That player is a starter because they have attributes and characteristics that players on the bench do not have. So when you got to take a player and elevate him to the bench, a player from the bench and elevate him to a starting position, and I'm talking about Taj Gibson and Nerlens Noel here, the opposing team in a playoff series can exploit that player's weaknesses. Okay? Now, obviously, when you're talking about Derrick Rose, if he were elevated to the starting spot, that's a different story because Derrick Rose is the superior player coming off the bench. Okay. But I think it's something to be concerned about when it comes to Nerlens Noel and whether or not he's going to be there to start or, be there tonight. I think that's a great concern. Now, one could argue that Taj Gibson is maybe even a little bit better to defend Clint Capella because of his playoff experience. Maybe he has a little bit more size, a little bit more strength. Of course, we're taking away shot blocking. Taj Gibson's done a good job for us, though. Let's not act like he hasn't. He's done a good job being a shot blocker. He's had some nights where he's blocked some shots. But I think this is a concern if Nerlens Noel is going to be out tonight. Nerlens Noel, Taj Gibson, Novell Pell, that's going to be something that we have to pay attention to and watch for in this particular basketball game tonight versus the Atlanta Hawks. And it could be a big blow for the New York Knicks. Now, when we look at the game breakdown, I do want to break down just some things from the previous game. As far as our rebounding, because Nerlens Noel, although he's not a huge rebounder, he does impact rebounding. Although he only had 3 rebounds the last game, we've got to get more rebounding from that center position. We cannot, I repeat, we cannot have only 3 rebounds from our center position. It's no way we can do that and be successful in this game. Now, we did out-rebound them 49-42, but we've got to get more production in that area from our center spot. Now, if Nerlens Noel is out, Taj Gibson, he's been doing well, but we're going to need him to hit the boards for us. All right. Going to need him to hit the boards for us. But looking at these stats, of course, we lost the game 107-105. 49-42 on the rebounding edge for the New York Knicks. 21 assists to 17 assists. Now, we did a good job shutting down those assists, but as a way to counteract that, Trae Young was scoring the basketball. 3 steals for the Knicks, 6 steals for the Atlanta Hawks, 4 blocks for the Knicks, 7 for the Atlanta Hawks, 11 turnovers for the Knicks. We got to take care of it. There's not a lot of turnovers, but we got to take care of the basketball, especially when the Hawks only had 6 turnovers. Right, so we've got to take care of that basketball and try to force turnovers. We're not a team that forces a lot of turnovers, though. I will say that. Right, we don't force turnovers. We play good defense, but we don't force a lot of turnovers. We don't force turnovers that allows us to get out on the break. One of the reasons why we don't have a strong, fast break. We shot 33% from the three-point line. They shot 35%. We shot 73% from the free throw line. But we didn't go to the free throw line a lot. Right? We didn't go to the free throw line a lot. It was a little bit shaky with the free throw line. The game went fast. The game went really fast. And we got to the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, Trae Young starts getting fouled and going to the free throw line. And I was thinking to myself while I'm watching the game, why is it going so fast? Why are we already in the third quarter? And then it dawned on me like, wow, we're not getting to the line. So I think it's going to be imperative that we find a way to get to the line tonight. I think part of the reason is because of this quasi double team / zone that they played on Julius Randle. I think that's part of the reason we didn't get to the line. Right? They did a lot of playing the passing lanes, trying to cut off penetration. They did a good job of it. And if you're not getting to the basket, you're not going to get to the line for the most part. And Julius Randle And I'm going to show you. And if you saw my clip or my breakdown the other day, I did a breakdown on Julius Randle and this quasi double team / zone that the Atlanta Hawks play. And in this quasi double team, basically what they do is they start off in a man, and then they kind of, when Julius Randle gets the ball, they kind of move into like a 2-3 zone. And now Julius Randle, it looks like it was man, and then it turns into a zone, and Julius Randle has to figure out, where do I go? Right? Where do I go, and how do I get there? How do I find the open shooter? And when they're in this zone, I'm going to show you this. Everybody's standing around the perimeter. It's not a zone. It's a double team, but it looks like a zone. Everyone's standing around the perimeter, which makes it even tougher for Julius Randle to find an open shooter. Because, like I said, they're in this zone type of defense that started in a man, but they have the ability to close out. So I'm going to bring this over. I want to show you this real quick. Right? Then after I show you this, yeah, I should be able to get my man Andy in the building. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to get Andy in here in just a second. Let's get him in here. Then I'll get everybody else in here. And we'll get this thing on and popping. You can look right now and you can see that on the screen, this is in the third quarter. Right? Andy, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Finally. You know, some troubleshooting, but we got there. Finally got there. All right, so I want to break this down to you guys really quick, and then we'll get to Andy. Look at here. This looks like a 2-3 zone, right? You see, you got one guy here, two guy, up top. Then you have 3, 4, 5, right? It looks like a 2-3 zone, but really this came out of a man-to-man defense. I'd show you the clip before, but I'm going to ask you to believe me. Once Julius Randle got the ball, then they switched to this 2-3 zone look. You're going to see Nerlens Noel slide to this spot right here. And it may seem like, oh, Julius Randle can hit Nerlens Noel, right? You see him slide there. But actually, he can't hit Nerlens Noel because right in his line of vision, it goes right past Clint Capella's arm, hand, whatever you want to say. So if Julius Randle tries to make this pass, it probably gets picked off. And then you can see just about all areas are covered. He's watching RJ Barrett here. He's watching here. Now, Julius Randle can look for a skip, but he'll probably still get back there. Maybe a skip is good. If he skips it here and he's successful with the skip, Nerlens Noel can bang right here, and you can get him right here on the pass really quick. But, of course, your skip pass has got to be successful. Sometimes that skip pass can cause trouble. So now you ask, how do we defend this? I mean, how do we counteract this? I think one of the ways to counteract this, because this essentially turned into a 2-3 zone, one of the ways is to have somebody flash right in here. Right in here. Have somebody flash there. That's going to draw the defense in. Then it's going to open up the perimeter a little bit more if you don't get the ball to this person. Okay, so like right now, Nerlens Noel is along this baseline here. But It's not going to get it. But if we could have this guy flashing here, right? Draw the defenders in, draw this defender down, draw this defender over. Let me clean this up for you a little bit. Right? They flash in here, draw this defender, draw this defender. Now you got somebody really open on this perimeter. And you start to cause the defense to scramble. So I think when they start to switch over to this type of zone type of defense, and I'm saying type of defense because, remember, it starts with a man. When it comes back out, it gets swung back out to R.J. Barrett and Derrick Rose, they're jumping right back into a man-to-man defense. It's only when Julius Randle has the ball that they're playing this zone type of defense, and you'll see it here. Boom. Now here they go. Bang. And although they were able to get a shot off, it wasn't a clean look. I mean, it was a clean look, but you still had a defender running at you. I say send a flasher, and I'll talk about it a little bit more on my keys to game. Andy, what's popping with you? 2 questions before I let everybody else in. One, with Nerlens Noel possibly being questionable, how does that impact the team? And then 2, how do we attack this fluctuation in defense when Julius Randle gets the basketball?
Yeah, what up, Sim? What up to the chat? What up to the panel? Sim, firstly, Nerlens Noel being, questionable, probable, whatever the status is, if he's not going to be able to play, well, definitely it's going to mean that Taj is going to be starting. I'm thinking that Thibs might go with a smaller lineup because I don't think Pell is going to get that many of minutes. Then again, if Clint Capella is going to be, on the offensive boards, and getting those rebounds, which in the first game he didn't get that many because we out-rebounded them, that's going to be a problem. And that's when I see Thibs inserting Pell. Is that going to work? Is he going to play good? We're going to have to find out. But I don't think he's going to have, any other way to go because I don't think we're going to see Julius playing the 5 like 30 minutes. I think he's a 4. It would be really hard for him to distribute the ball and, play make from the center position. So I think, we got to keep Julius at the 4 as much as possible to get the offense in the flow. The other question was, how do we attack that kind of a situation? Well, first thing is, like you said, we got to send a cutter in and see if they're going to react and how they're going to react and if he's going to get open. The other way we could try to break up that play is imagine, Julius having the ball almost in the corner, but he's still in the 2-point area, right? Imagine a guy like RJ, like Reggie Bullock, like Quickly, running straight at Randall and taking the ball straight out of his hands. He's going to be in an open 3 because Julius is going to, set a screen as soon as he, passes up the ball. So basically that shooter running at Julius and taking the ball from his hands and taking that shot might be one of the most open shot that we might get. Then again, we need to see what the guy's defender is going to do. If they're going to stay in the zone or if they're going to if it's going to be 2 guys versus Julius and then the third defender is going to be brought even closer to Julius because that might be even worse. So question is what they are going to do with that kind of a situation. So I think it's a test and then react thing. And that's, what I fear the most because, we were talking about, adjustments. My question, and I was talking in the NBK Twitter panel chat we have, my question is Tibbs even going to adjust? Isn't he happy with, listen, if Reggie hit a shot, if Julius was shooting his regular percentages, I think the same game plan would work for the Knicks. If you think about it, it was only a 2-game, loss.
That's true.
And then again, something that we didn't mention. Listen, if you're Nate McMillan and you're coming to the, 2 games at MSG, I don't think he was that greedy that he's going to think, okay, let me get these 2 W's and then go back to Atlanta, right? His plan basically was, okay, if we get 1 win, we split the games, we're going to be happy, right? So my question is, was he happy with his tactics? And if he's going to stick with the same tactics, because he might be, listen, we won game 1, let us do the adjustments and let's us do something else, so we throw them off, because they're going to prepare for the things that we did in game 1. So let's shock them and let's do something else from our side, so they're not going to be prepared. So basically, from the coach's standpoint, it's an adjustment game. Which coach is going to be able to adjust sooner and his tactics are going to work versus the opposite tactics? Mm-hmm. No, I don't think, any of us were thinking, okay, the Hawks won, right? They won only by 2. But the question is if they're going to be playing the same kind of defensive schemes, the same kind of offense, because they can switch it up as well. They're not going to be waiting for the Knicks to attack them to see what's going to happen, right?
Right.
So, I'm thinking that Nate McMillan might try to outfox, Thibs and go in with other defensive scheme. And we're going to be lost for a quarter or 2, and that might be the game. So that's a tricky thing that if I was Nate McMillan, I'd risk it. I already have a 1-game win, so I already have the thing that I came for to New York.
Right.
I would be happy if I come out back to Atlanta 1-1.
Right. No, I agree. And so he may be figuring, hey, we'll take some chances and see if we can do something that shocks him and scares him. You're right. I want to show this zone type defense again, and then we'll let everybody in because this is another instance in when it was done, and I want to show you what can be available. We've just got to know how to attack it. All right, so you see here that the ball is going to be inbound, and it's going to be inbound to Julius Randle. All right, so boom, it's inbound to Randle. Now, I want you to watch here. You see, this is Alec Burks coming in from out of bounds to the other side of the floor, and he's defended by whoever that is. I can't see who it is, but you're going to see this defender here is going to stop in the center of the center of the lane, so that he can create this zone on Julius Randle. So boom, he stops here. Now all of a sudden, there you go. We're back into it. You got this guy kind of playing a soft double on Julius Randle. Alec Burks is here. Nerlens Noel is here. But I want you to pay attention, because this will happen. This is wide open. Not a defender in sight right here. And this is where we got to learn to take advantage. When they play this type of soft double team, is essentially a zone. If quickly flashes right here, puts a little bit more urgency on the defense, probably Julius Randle finds him, and that's a nice clean sight to the basket. And I know I got stuff all over the screen. It's a nice clean sight to the basket. And if quickly does flash here, and this defender defends him, most likely Alec Burks is going to be open in the short corner. So we've got to be able to recognize these types of opportunities if and when the Atlanta Hawks decide to go into this type of defense. We'll see what happens. Let me get some other people in here, and we'll talk about some strategy to defeat the Atlanta Hawks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and while I'm doing that, while I'm letting some people in, I might as well let you take a listen to the intro. It's my man Drugs Only on a new intro. Check it out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's Drugs Only. And I want you to pay attention, man, because the Big 15 EP will be out. We're going to debut it tomorrow. So make sure you're there to check that out. Stope. And I can't wait for you guys to hear it. That was Drugs Only on the intro. We'll have another kind of visual soon. You know, maybe a couple different variations of the visual. But, yeah, make sure you're ready to check out that Big 15 EP when it comes out, man. It's going to be hot. Guarantee you that. I might as well start with my man Evergreen. Evergreen, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling? How are you feeling this afternoon? Can't hear you, brother. Oh, yeah, that mic gives you a little bit of trouble sometimes, huh?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Hello?
There you go.
Okay, there we go. I had to plug it in. What's going on, everybody? Peace and love, everybody. How
What's
everybody
going
doing?
on with you, man?
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight's game, man. What's going on? Peace and love to the chat. Peace, Andy. Peace, Zaya. Peace, my man Guillermo. Big shout out to Guillermo. He knows why, but big shout out to Guillermo. He knows why.
Yeah, man.
Salute to that guy. Salute to everybody.
So what's your takes, man? What's your takes on some of the things we got to do, some adjustments we need to make to get this win tonight?
I would say switch at the top of the key. Switch on defense at the top of the key. We can't afford for Trae Young to drive straight down the middle of the lane. You know what I mean? Hopefully Nerlens Noel is healthy. But switching at the top of the key between, you know, the 1, 2, and 3, those are the guys that should be switching. Big men, they stay down. I don't remember what Atlanta's shooting percentage was as far as from beyond the arc or from 12 feet back. I'm sure Guillermo can cue something up to figure out exactly what that stat is. But I think we have a better opportunity to allow these guys to switch at the top of the key. I mean, most of our defenders are pretty decent in the help defense avenue and communication. So, you know, that tight man basketball is not, you know, clearly it didn't work against Trae Young. So, you know, either we pull our heads out of our butts and figure out what we're doing on man, or we need to start switching on things. So,
yeah,
switch at the top of the key.
The only fear I get with them switching is that, you know, once they realize that the Knicks are switching everything, first of all, they're always going to be setting a screen with either John Collins or Clint Capella. If Julius Randle switches on to Trae Young, I mean, you know, he's shown the ability to defend some guards out on the perimeter. Now, but you don't want to take that chance of him getting into foul trouble. You know how crafty Trae Young is. And then we don't know if Nerlens Noel is going to go tonight. He's questionable. If you're switching with Clint Capella, then it's Nerlens Noel that gets called out on Trae Young on an island. I mean, he's shown the ability to defend out there as well. I worry about Trae Young taking advantage of that, though, if we decide to switch. And our big guys getting caught out there on an island with Trae Young. Because if it were me, as soon as I see Julius Randle or Nerlens Noel on Trae Young, I'm clearing out and saying, go one-on-one. See if we can get them in foul trouble, especially if it's Julius Randle. So that's my only concern about switching everything.
I mean, honestly, Sam, I'd rather take up that. I mean, it's Trae Young is a 33% 3-point shooter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking that gamble. Okay. Like, yes, he has the opportunity to get streaky here and there, but he's a 33% 3-point shooter. You know what I mean? He's a good, you know, he drives to the well, he attacks well, but he's not that good of a shooter. You know what I mean? So I'm allowing that guy to, like, we're switching. That's my thing. I'm just going to switch, you know, and whoever we switch to, we just got to have good enough communication to let them know, like, if we're switching, you know, this person needs to go in and pick up Capella or Collins and stay there until another pick and roll comes out. Like, you can only do so many pick and rolls before the pick and roll itself falls apart with one of us being able to pick that up. You know, so you can, like I said, you can't do too many pick and rolls without somebody catching back on. Okay. You know, and if they're doing 2 and 3 pick and rolls, you know, there's a guy that's essentially out of the opportunity to be able to score. So I'd much rather go switch on everything. I'd much rather switch on everything.
So are you saying if Julius Randle or Nerlens Noel does switch on Trae Young to back up, give him space, and kind of force him to shoot the three?
Yeah. You switch and you switch. You take a little step back. Like I said, he's shooting 33% from the field, bro. Like there's not from the field, but he's shooting 33% from beyond the arc. Let that guy go. But his driving capability, he really exposed us on that end. So, let that man shoot. He's a streaky shooter as it is. Let that man shoot. We switch. You take a step back. You give him his little bit of space. As soon as you see him getting ready to bring both of those hands together, you try to close out a bit. But it's too much to leave that man leave your man back and allow him to dump that ball off if you stay tight on him. He's quicker than everybody on our team. He's quicker than everybody on our team.
Right.
Everybody.
Right. No doubt about it. All right, Gmo, what do you think, man?
Yo, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? God bless. My strategy, actually, I'm gonna say something that might actually fit Evergreen's strategy. When you look at Trae Young, now Trae Young runs a pick and roll about 56% of the time, but on the plays where defenders actually go under the pick, which they haven't done enough of, he's only shooting 31.3% from the field, and it was a 42.7% effective field goal percentage. But he's doing his worst when defenders do go on the pick, but teams only have defended it that way about 7.2% of the time. So teams are scared of Trae, but this year he's not been a good three-point shooter when you go under the pick. So that definitely feeds to what Evergreen is saying, right? I think that to me, I say ice the pick and roll. You know what I mean? Defend the pick and roll in terms of you get whoever the ball handler is, prevent Trae Young from being able to even use that pick. You have to force him, to me, try to force him one way, right? And force him into bad mid-range shots to where he has to make a pass back to Capella, who is not a mid-range shooter by any stretch of imagination. So he's going to be trying to look to get it right back to Trae Young. And when time is taken off the clock, when Trae Young doesn't have a lot of time on the clock, he's shooting poor from the field. He's shooting 34% from the field when he has less than 4 seconds left on the shot clock. And another thing too is that when he tries to make those cross-country passes, right, you got to tell RJ or Bullock, and this is a Tom Thibodeau thing, we talk about his stubbornness. On the help defense, too many times he has RJ or Bullock feeding way too much from the other side into the paint defense, where it's like, dogs, like it's already a cluster F of defenders down low anyway. You don't need an RJ Barrett to come and help out on the roll man if Noah Well or even Taj Gibson is in front of him, right? So I'd have him playing a little bit more of the passing lanes to show that, DEEK, not, whatever. DEK to kind of fake like he's helping out and then try to go back and play the passing lanes, because Trae Young's going to try to get it back out to Gallo, to Bogdan, those outside shooters. If the pick and roll is not there, to pass to maybe the other guy right next to him on the opposite, or right there, the closest wing or whatever, or closest corner is not available. So that's my strategy. Another thing too, man, get these guys in foul trouble. You made a good point about the Hawks' help defense, where Capella has been playing excellent help defense. But who did Randle have to begin the game at the start of the game defensively on him? It was Gallo. And how many possessions did Randle let go before he actually drove on Gallo and drew a foul? You know what I mean? It's like Gallo's not good laterally. You could play better defense on these guys by getting their so-called defenders. I'm not saying Gallo's not a good defender, but get those guys out the game. Get them into foul trouble so they have less shooters on the floor, right? And if they want to sit there and try to run the pick and roll with John Collins, you know what I mean? John Collins is good from the pick and roll, but now you have a guy in Clint Capella who is not going to space the floor, so you could better defend him. You know what I mean? And you have John Collins there. I mean, but last game I just felt like the team in terms of playing passing lanes. Also, they're running double teams on us too. You know what I mean? So it's not double teams. Excuse me, double screens on us. They're running Spain pick and rolls on us. We have to be a lot more smarter regards to what we do in terms of helping out the paint defense and then splitting back out to defend the perimeter guys. But to me, eliminate the pick and roll, or like Evergreen said, go under the pick and roll and force Trae Young to try to shoot these three-pointers on us. If he gets hot, then obviously stop it. But he doesn't do well when defenders actually go in the pick. So
yeah, well, I mean, no matter what, you gotta have 3 or 4 different scenarios on how you're gonna defend the screen and roll, right? Because you may do it one way and they figure that out. So now you got to do it another way. They figure that out, and then you do it a third way, right? You gotta so like you said, if he gets hot, then you stop doing that. You know, if you go under the screen and roll. If he's not getting hot, then you say, hey, he's not shooting it. Let him keep doing it. So you gotta have a few different ways that you defend it. You know, you can't just stick with one mantra. You gotta have, and you gotta know it going in. So hopefully these 2 days off, they worked on 3 or 4 different scenarios on how we can defend them. Defend Trae Young and defend that screen and roll, because, you know, that's going to be the primary source of our pain in this series. You know, is that screen and roll and what Trae Young has the ability to do coming off the screen. You know, because
try to be as consistently inconsistent, right? Like Nate McMillan does not play with a lot of pace, right? So once you disrupt that pick and roll, right? If you show him different looks, right? If you throw if you try to ice it, if you threw a trap, even though he does well in traps, if you do a trap at the right time, like how the Lakers used to do last year, right? And you do it at the right time on the clock, and he's sitting there, maybe he picks up his dribble, he has to try to get around that. He doesn't have time on the clock. You know what I mean? You throw them, off kilter, right? Versus last game, like we defended with drop coverage the whole time. And once that defender gets stuck on a pick, it's basically a 2-on-1 game, or even a 3-on-2, whatever, is a mismatch. So yeah, to me, yeah, just try to be inconsistent. I mean, look, if you have one way that shut them down the whole game, just keep running that until they try to get out of it. But everything lives and dies with the pick and roll starting from Trae Young. Everything. What we did last game, you can't be playing drop coverage and trying to play this bend don't break a defense, because if you have a game where Randall's cold or Bullock is cold, and people keep saying like, yo, yeah, it's these guys were cold, but again, we have one of the worst offenses, so it's not as if. And again, it's playoffs. This is a different environment, so we can't sit here and just say, well, Randall's going to come back next game. We got 4 games, really. And then also think about this: you get into a bad groove, it could be done by 2 games, where now you're just out of it, and the Hawks are in a groove, and you can't get out of it. Now, a 2-game deficit really feels like a 3-game deficit, and you're trying to play comeback, and maybe guys are mentally out of it. You know what I mean? So it's it's a little bit different from the regular season.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but I still do think if we shot the ball a little bit better, the game is a little different, and I think they're listen, the Hawks had 17 assists, and I think what they went into the game figuring and was like, you know what, we're gonna force Trae Young to shoot the ball a little bit more, and that's what he did, and he scored 17 assists, although he found some people, they normally average 23, 24, 25 assists per game or whatever it is. We held them down to 17. There's going to be, each game, there's going to be something that you're going to have to live with. And I guess the Knicks have got to decide, okay, what is it this game that we're going to live with? Last game, they chose to live with Trae Young being able to get into that lane and drop down that teardrop, that floater. We'll see what they decide to do this game.
And real quick, sorry, I know you got to go to the Q. That's what Lloyd Pierce said. He said, essentially, make him either he's going to be a scorer tonight or he's going to be a facilitator. But you got to sell out when defending one of the aspects of his game. You can't let him kill it both ways. So.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead, Andy. Yeah,
I just want to add to the Guillermo's ideas and stuff like that. My question is Tibbs going to really adjust? Let's remember the drop coverage prevented Capella from having those lobs and from him having basically the offensive rebounds, because his defender was always closer to that. So we got to think, if Tibbs is like, okay, let's go versus Trae, and then he's going to get the lobs and Capella's going to get the easy dunks and putbacks. So, I think I'm really not sure if this is going to be the day that Tibbs is going to adjust.
Well, remember,
they were also mentioning, that Elf might not be the starter, that he's saying that is set in stone. Well, I just wanted to mention, that Tibbs might not be, doing that much of an adjustment, because he might have been happy with the thing that, that we stopped Capella. Gallo didn't have a game, and, he might be like, listen, Julie's not going to have that kind of a bad scoring night. Reggie's going to score better. But I also, don't think that, for example, Quickly might have that same kind of impact on the game. He had a really good game, and, it might be, he might like get 2 more misses instead of makes. The same with Obi. You know, we it's not like the guys that play well, they're going to be on that, great kind of game every game. They might drop off a little bit. So my question is, the thing for this series is going to be who's going to adjust faster, and the adjustments have to be in game. Like you said, Sim, they got to have 4 or 5 plans coming in, defensive schemes, change up on the offensive end, and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be, like Tibbs is going to come into this game with another starting 5, with another, offense and stuff. It might be the same game till it comes down to the end, or at least till halftime. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Okay.
But he threw when Trae Young. Now, granted, it's Trae Young who went down, but it was actually the third Hawks game where Thibodeau did adjust, right? We played drop coverage in the first 3 quarters and got mollywopped. And then in that fourth quarter, we actually played aggressive double hedging looks and that stuff. Granted, it was Kevin Horton, Bogdan, and Goodwin who were running the pick and roll, but we were a lot more aggressive, and we shut him down. Granted, Trae Young can split defenses, all that. But remember, your boy, go back to 2008. It was a preseason game, and unfortunately, I don't have it online. I looked everywhere, but it was your boy, Frank Ntilikina, when they threw those double screens up top, and Trae Young's run the same pick and roll. I forgot which big man he was playing with back in the day, but they were running the same pick and roll. Once they put Frank in a double team up top, it dissipated. I know, great. Trae Young is a lot better. So it's up to Tom Thibodeau. And again, you talk about the alleys up to Capella and whatnot, but even in that game when guys like Bogdan, because remember, there was a play where like Capella split out defense, he just rolled to the basket, had a nice dunk, but after that, he was basically nullified. And the way we played the passing lanes that game, I know you don't like to hear this, but go back to that still where it was Quickly who played the passing lanes and caught a steal, then he's like going out of bounds, something like that. I forgot how it was, but it's like him and Derrick Rose. I can't remember exactly, but he had a steal in that game where he faked as if he was helping out in the help defense and popped back out on the outside guy to get a steal. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. It's telling guys like RJ. Now, RJ's a little bit tough because I think he's injured. So when you see him, it's like he can't really like cut and go quick enough. It's something about maybe his ankles are still hurt or something like that. But guys like Bullock, all those guys got to sit there and say, okay, if I see that Nozawell or Novell Pell are fronting Capella good enough, there's no need for me to feed that much into helping them in the paint. I still remember, because we talk about how bad the Knicks did offensively. Guys like Bogdan, DeAndre Hunter, and Gallo, they didn't have good nights either. Right? So they can have a night where they get explosive. So we got to be cognizant of that passing lane. And again, if those guys are guarded well in the middle, I would just fake as if I'm helping out and get right back to my guy. Once Trae Young is in the air or trying to make those cross-country, cross-court passes from one wing to the other, I got to be on my heels or my toes, getting ready to get that steal off. So there are adjustments he can make. Stop selling out too much in the paint defense. Make sure the outside guys don't shoot us, and try to disrupt the pick and roll as much as possible against Trae Young.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to make sure those outside guys don't kill us. But if you don't, listen again, it's picking your poison, because if you don't defend that screen and roll and stop Clint Capella down low, then you're giving up that as well. So it's it's going to be a pick your poison type of thing, and you got to figure out which do I want to take away, which is most likely that we can take away, and is going to be most effective for us. So it's tough. Isaiah,
what's going on, Sam? What's going on, Guillermo, Andy, everybody in the chat? We got almost 400 people. We only got less than 120 likes. So can we get those likes up, people? Today's a big day for the Knicks. Also, too, Guillermo, if Frank Ntilikina played in 2008, he might be one of the greatest players of all time. Just saying. But you said 2008.
Oh, sorry, 2018. I'm sorry. My bad. Give it up right there. He got one.
Hey, man, that's one. So
the chat helped him out on that.
Yeah. Listen, Sim, I'm so nervous today, man. I even cut my beard off for this game, man. You know what I'm saying? So I had to cut. Well, yeah. You really want? I'm not even gonna go there right now with you. Yeah, scratch that beard, that struggle beard. No, Sim. Today's a big game, and a few adjustments. Like I got to piggyback off Andy and Guillermo, of course. But for me, like Guillermo said, I think the drop coverage he killed us all night. He got the momentum to get into the paint and do what he had to do. Then like get the fight over the pick and rolls tonight. That's gonna be a main thing. I'm not big on switching. Sour Evergreen, I love you, brother. I'm not good on switching today. I want these guys to stick with them, man, because again, you don't want, if Noel plays, which we're all hoping and banking on, and that he can be healthy enough, and Julius Randle, you don't want these guys to get in foul trouble over Trae Young. Again, we seen the other night that this dude was getting film calls off RJ Barrett and the perimeter guys. So let's not get Randle and Noel's into petty foul calls. And also, listen, man, like you said, Sim, you got to pick your poison about what you want to do. Because if you drop coverage, yes, Capella and them most likely won't get the lobs and stuff. But on the other hand, Trae Young is going to start killing. So me personally, I'd rather Clint Capella beat us than Trae Young beat us. Because again, right now, Sim, I believe his confidence is on 1,000 right now. I mean, there's people for some odd reason they're calling him Reggie Miller Jr., which that's ridiculous. That's just disrespectful to Reggie Miller. True supervillain. But we got to get this guy uncomfortable. One of my big things that I was going to say tonight, I'm looking for nasty. I'm looking for the energy of these guys to be nasty. I want these guys to, like, listen, sometimes, I understand, like, when you swat a ball, you want to keep it in bounds. I need a super block to the stands. I need these guys to play nasty like they've been doing all season with the defense. And I want these guys to be, have the confidence, everything. Again, I believe one of the big things that we have to do tonight is ball movement. Ball movement is going to be very key for the Knicks. And just Julius Randle reads. Because when he gets double teamed, we need guys moving him. Because one of the big problems that I've seen the other game is that when he's getting double teamed, nobody's moving around. Nobody's looking to get the ball. No one's trying to cut to the paint. We need some cutting. RJ's really good at cutting. D Rose is good at cutting. Reggie Bullock, if they maybe try to get some back doors going on. Again, the Hawks are not, as a team, they got better defensively since the hiring of Nick McMillan. But individually, they're still not good defenders. John Collins is not a good defender. Trae Young is not a good defender. Gallinari's not a good defender. Again, I want Julius Randle to exploit anytime he's Danilo's on him, bury your head and go. He can't guard you. He's either going to foul you or you're going to get the N1, or you're going to get the 2 points. Again, I think Julius Randle will bounce back, so I'm not even worried about that. But again, to me, one of the main points is, playing up more. Like I said, I'd rather Clint Capella beat us, play nasty, ball movement, and if we get those three things, and a few lineup changes, the Knicks will win this game.
I think the one thing you mentioned about Julius Randle, right? What the Hawks are doing is making it tough for him to just take his guy off the dribble every time and go to the basket. It's making it really tough because they're essentially vacillating between a man and a zone, right? When Julius Randle has the ball, they kind of switch into a zone. Anyone else has the ball, they're in a man, right? So it makes it very tough for him to just put his head down and go to the basket, because if he does, boom, it's going to be someone right there. He may pick up the offensive foul. And they're probably not going to attack that double team until he attacks, right? So he has the ball and he's there, triple threat, jab step, whatever he's doing, and they're just kind of showing. They're not actually attacking. And so now he has to make a decision. What do I do? And here's the thing, because they're not actually attacking the double team, when he swings it, no one's committed to a double team. It's easy for them to get back. We got to have flashers, in my opinion. Flashers come through the middle of that in those open gaps. Because once Julius Randle gets the ball, they basically are playing a zone. So then you got to treat it like a zone and have players hit those gaps, which is going to make the defense collapse. Because, like you said, everyone's out on the perimeter standing. And so with everybody out on the perimeter, it's impossible for Julius Randle. Everyone's out on the perimeter. They got a foot in the paint. It's impossible for Julius Randle to really attack it, create that, make the defense suck in and then kick it out. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's tougher because, as soon as he goes and attacks, that's when they're going to attack.
And also, Sim, too, I think one thing, again, So can I tell you a funny story before Gilmore goes? So you know my father, right? Nicest guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
My father sent me this morning, he was like, we need to break Trae Young leg so he don't score. I said, wait. I said, Dad. I said, hold on. Hold on. I'm like, Dad, you a pastor. He said, I don't care. We got to win this game. I said, listen, I'm going to be real. I don't think, I'm never into her players. I'm not into her players. But I do believe that, to me, to set the tone tonight, like when I mentioned Nasty Sim, I'm setting the tone because, again, Trae Young is loving this, Sim. He's embracing all this.
Of course he
they're
is.
interviewing his dad, his AAU coach. They're doing all. He's in the limelight right now, which again is deserving. I believe he's a good player, but Sim, you have to assert your dominance. And I'm down for a couple hard fouls. Not stupid fouls, but nice little hard fouls to let them know that this ain't gonna be easy tonight. What you did the other night, you get in the paint and just free really that's not happening tonight.
Yeah, well,
so
we'll see how that goes.
We'll
see how that goes. It's a different NBA. You know what I mean? Who was it? Was it LeBron the other night, a couple nights ago? Got not a technical, but a what's it called for foul for defending the 3-point line, and he didn't. I don't know if it was LeBron, whoever it was. They didn't really do anything wrong. They just defended it and came down. But because the offensive player came down on their foot, they called it a flagrant one. I mean, today's game is just totally different. You know what I mean? Totally different. But go ahead, Gmo.
Just real quick. Obviously you knows Nerlens Noel to play today. But a blessing in disguise might actually be Randall playing with a guy like Taj, because Taj he's such a smart player, and his movements and breaking the zone has been excellent this year. He knows when to get right at that foul line, break the zone, make the pass out to the guys outside. I think sometimes knows it well, and a lot of their bigs just basically they kind of sit around sometimes that foul line and help, and then they just go out and just set the pick. So I think with those having Taj, and also another thing with Randall has to play that zone break as well too. Get away from the perimeter. It's so easy to play him because once he likes to get in that post position from up top, and then you literally can just sit there and peek with a Capella to play the help defense. And like you said, the Hawks, go look at the Hawks' faces. Once Randall's in the zone, everybody else besides Capella, they're looking for the guy who's actually cutting and making the cut. So it's so predictable. Randall needs to be at that foul line. He needs to get that pass. He needs to have the two guys up top. They're playing his zone. Let the two guys, or maybe three guys, one at each of the wings. They're playing 2-3. One at the wings, one up top. Let Randall play zone breaker. He can hit that foul shot, or he can kick it out to the guy there. But essentially, when the defense collapses on Randall, right, he's going to have a lot more space to operate versus where he's trying to get in the post up from one area, one of those areas. He's basically allowed the court is cut off for him. So, and I understand people having room here and cut, but go look at the Hawks' faces. They're looking for guys cutting. So, Randall has to be a little bit. Tom Thibodeau has to utilize Randall as a better chess piece near in that paint area, near where that foul line area, versus having the top. And, the Hawks is basically just play him straight up.
Right. But sometimes they don't jump into that zone until Randall has the ball, right? Like the first clip that I showed, before Randall got the ball. They were in the man. Everybody had their man. As soon as Randall got the ball in his position, they jumped into a zone. Now Randall already has the ball and they go into a zone. So we got to have some other people flashing in. Now you can have Randall give the ball back and see if they stay in the zone or go back to man. You know what I'm saying? And Randall, when he's catching the ball, he's not catching it in the post. Now maybe if they have him while they're in man, have Randall just catch it in the post. Then it might change it up a little bit and have them and force them to collapse because he's already got the ball in the post. But right now, he's catching the ball out on the perimeter and then they're going into a zone. It's going to be interesting to see how they adjust to that. Let me get to a couple super chats and phone call. Donald Cannon, thank you for the super chat. He said, this is for Cash Baby in the chat. Keep that energy for tonight and come back on here too. Thanks for the algorithm. I see Cash Baby. Yeah, whoever he is, I don't know. I don't even know who that is.
Yo, sir, I'm sorry. The funniest one, they got Trae Young here. He talking. They got the
Yeah, I
Trae
see.
Young
Yeah,
guy.
I see it. I see it. And Afro Jedi, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Has anyone done this type of hybrid defense before?" Yeah, I think plenty of coaches have done this type of hybrid type of defense. San Antonio did it the first time we played San Antonio. They did it to us, and
The Nuggets did it to us. Y'all remember the Nuggets did the same thing? They played. Was it? I'm sorry. Well, the Nuggets did it to us. The Bucks did it to us. They played. The Bucks have done it where they have a hybrid zone that switches into a man late in the shot clock. We've seen this before. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I know San Antonio did it the exact same way that the Atlanta Hawks are doing it, and it was trouble for Julius Randle. So we'll see if they continue to do it, and as long as he's having trouble, they will continue to do it. As long as he can't figure it out or the Knicks can't figure it out. And I'm telling you, the easiest way to do it is to send somebody flashing to the high post when they jump into, once they switch to the zone, then you switch your offense to a zone offense. But the Knicks just got to recognize that the problem is the players recognizing that they switched to a zone. I think that's one of the biggest issues, because if you're in a 2-3 can look just like a man if you play it that way. It can look like a man where you're sagging into the middle of the paint, where you're playing off or playing pack line defense, right? When a team plays a 2-3. So it can be difficult to recognize if they're in a man or if they're in a 2-3. And the Knicks they've got to figure out, they've got to recognize when they've switched into a zone type of a defense.
Hey, Sim, two things, Sim, before you go to other people. Number one, Cash Baby. When we win tonight, I want you to come on this chat live. I want you to jump on the panel when we win the Knicks. I want you to come on this live. Because Sim, ever since we lost that game, I don't know how many shows you did between then and now. He's been here every time. And when we win, I want him to come on this show.
Think about Cash
Please.
Baby, man. I ain't thinking about Cash Baby. You can talk all the garbage you want. Call in, Cash Baby.
But also too, Sim. One thing for an adjustment. I don't know if you noticed it yet or you took a look at this, but hopefully Thibs can do a better job with the inbounding plays or out of timeout plays. Because again, right, I was still confused on why when Alex Burke was the one taking doing the out of bounds play. I was still confused on that. If there's a hot hand, Sim, I believe if there's if it's D Rose or Burks or whoever it is, I believe they should get the ball, because again, there's been too many times throughout this whole season where we give Julius Randle the ball and it just never really materialized to anything. Like again, for the most of the season, I've seen them double team. I've seen them take a wild shot, fadeaways. It just hasn't really worked all season. I would rather go with the hot hand if it's close like that and give it to that player, because it just, to me, his out of bound plays and at the time on plays just really don't work like that. And hopefully we can adjust that a little bit.
Well, I mean, if they haven't worked all season, they're probably not going to work right now. I mean, part of the thing is, out of each timeout play, you probably have 3 or 4 different options, and the players have to make a decision on who they are going to get the ball to in those options, and can those players come free when they're part of, when they're one of the options, can they get free? It has to be, it has to work that way as well. Players got to execute well enough to be able to get free. But anyway, let me get to this phone call. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, what's good, guys? It's nice. What's good, the panel and the chat?
What's good with you, my man? How you feeling?
Say it again, sir?
I said, how you feeling?
Pretty good. Cannot complain. I see that the Knicks, we could definitely win. There's only like 2 things that we just need to do, and if we actually do this and we stick to our guns, we'll get that W, and hopefully we'll ride on from there. And those 2 things is, man, first of all, there's no way that we have an actual player that could actually stop Trae Young. You could have him double team or whatever, and he's going to blow them by past them. The only thing that they just need to do is just get one of the things that makes them strong, and is not letting him go down the paint. If there's any possibility, give him a hard foul, not as hard that it will get somebody flagrant or nothing like that, but at least give him a hard foul so that he could second guess, like, oh man, I know I could go down, but it's not going to be easy. And that second part is, man, I got so frustrated because the only player that we actually had that went down the paint back like in numerous times, it was Alex Burks. And even though Julius Randle was having a bad night, that was one thing that he could have done so much better than pretty much any player that we have. If he just stop focusing in taking those type of shot and just go down the paint and have them, let's say, give fouls or whatever, man, we could actually win this.
Well, I think we could definitely win this game. We can definitely win the game. We just, one thing that Isaiah is saying is come out with that kind of gangbanger type energy, man. We need to come out with that. And I think that can make a big difference. The Knicks were a little bit shell-shocked in the first game. They can come out with that type of energy. I think it'll make a really big difference in today's game. And then, of course, many of the adjustments, some that you said, some that the panel said, we've got to have an assortment of adjustments out there or different things to use at different times. So, Hey, my man, I appreciate your call, bro.
Likewise, appreciate
it. Big shout out to my man, the entertainer in the chat. Thank you for being here, my brother. Thank you for being here. Let me get to another phone call here. Caller, you live. What's popping? I see it's an ATL number too.
Yeah, this Cash Baby right here.
Cash Baby, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, my brother. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. I can't wait for tonight's game.
I can't wait neither, my brother, but I wanted to point out a few things if I could, if I got 2-3 minutes with you.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, the only thing I've been hearing about, I be on y'all live, the only thing I've been hearing about, Trae Young, what y'all gonna do to stop Trae Young?
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, let's just say y'all do double Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say y'all start the pick and roll, y'all, hard fouls, get him out of his game. See, this is what y'all got to understand, and this is what y'all got to take in consideration. The Hawks don't have no goofy team no more, bro. Everybody that was on the Hawks team before we did all this trading and all these draft picks and all these free agents, everybody was goofy. No feet work, no shot. You can't trust them. Everybody on this Hawks team right now is good players.
You right.
Everybody, we got at least 10.
You right.
So what we want to do to y'all, we want y'all to double Trae Young. See, maybe what Trae Young did to y'all last night was a decoy. Maybe the coach told Trae Young to go out there and run pick and rolls and shoot these little threes and get some assists. Yeah, because we want y'all to focus on Trae Young because we finna let these other 9 light y'all up. hey, listen, I ain't gonna front. Gallinari, Bogdanovich, even DeAndre Hunter. They can all get hot. No doubt about that. But the engine is Trae Young. Right? The engine is Trae Young. You're right. And if you stop the engine, we will have a problem. But the thing about it is, number 0, Goodwin ain't bad. We just need somebody to bring the ball across that threshold, baby. That's all we need. I can bring the ball across the threshold, baby.
Is Goodwin available?
I mean, if y'all hurt Trae Young tonight, y'all might see me put a jersey on because I'm going to be there and I ain't going out bad.
You? Okay.
I love y'all, brother. I like to debate about basketball.
Yeah,
I love
man.
each and every one of y'all. It's
Appreciate
just a
you, bro.
real good, fun debate, and it's going to be real fun, brother.
Yeah, it is. No doubt about it. But look, Brandon Goodwin, I'm not going to lie. The last time we played the Hawks in the regular season and Trae Young went out, Brandon Goodwin came in and gave some really good minutes. He was knocking down threes, but I think he's out for the remainder of the season. So I don't know.
But guess what? Let me say one thing, though. Let me tell you who I trust if Brandon Goodwin was not hurt.
Let me tell you who I trust over Brandon Goodwin.
Who's that? Oh, Lou Williams?
No, Skylar Mays. Don't sleep on Skylar Mays,
I'm not
brother.
sure. I'm not even
He
sure
done
about
sold
it.
you a little something now. He done sold you a little something. That's
Okay.
LSU right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Don't get Skylar Mays twisted, baby. Because he will attack that. He will attack that paint now.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Cash Baby,
Yes, sir.
you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. Well, I don't think that guy you said is not gonna play because again, it's playoffs, so the rotations are gonna get a little more cut off. So your rotations might go from like 11 to 10 to you might be playing 8 or 9 guys. So the rotation gonna be down. But hey, brother, man, I really, really, really hope you can video chat because I can't wait for us to win today.
Yeah. I get all that out. Don't even worry about that. I have no problem with video chatting, brother. I have no problem.
Hey, listen.
We can do it. Hey,
brother, listen.
We can video chat and watch the game tonight live, baby, while I'm on that black bottle. You hear me? You know what the black bottle is? That's that rose, baby. You see? That's that Bel Air I'm going to be on tonight. I don't know what you boys drink, but I'm going to be on that Bel Air tonight, and I'm going to be in the team.
All right.
Hey, Cash Baby, the good thing is that my brother Guillermo, he does the show, he does the play-by-play, so you can definitely go on his channel and we can all watch the show together, man, because, again, we do love the energy. We love the energy.
Sir.
We love, we love the trolling because I can't wait for it to fall back to your face when we
It
win.
can't possibly be trolling if I'm an Atlanta fan. How is it trolling?
I feel you.
You're right.
But hey, Cash Baby, Leeds and the Knicks, he'll be on live throughout the game. So, you go in, just type in Leeds and the Knicks. He'll be on live. He'll send you the link. Get in there and, yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question, though. One last question before I go.
All right.
What's up with your boy? What his name is? I think he went live with what the boy is that be talking with Shannon?
Skip Bayless?
What the guy name is that be debating with Shannon?
What Matt?
Skip.
Oh, Skip.
Skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, your boy. I think what your boy is, MSG Nick fan. He do the little commentating. What your boy name is?
He took
Knicks fan,
about
CP. He talk about CP. He's talking about
CP.
CP.
Man, let me tell you something, man. You know what? CP don't like me. All because I kept putting hot sweep up on his screen, dog.
So he cut you off? He cut you off?
He kept putting me in timeout, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with him.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Oh, man.
I appreciate y'all, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. Oh, boy. Let me see. Let's get one more call in here, and then I got to get ready to head out. But let me get another call in here.
I like Cash Baby, man. Cash Baby funny.
Yeah. Calling you live. What's popping?
What's going on, fellas? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
What up?
Feeling great. I've been listening to you the last 2 days, and I think you guys hit the nail on the head. The key to the game tonight on defense is, force Trae Young left if you can. I think that changes a lot. And then on offense, Randall's just got to be more decisive. Whatever he does, whether he wants to pass or shoot, he's got to make that decision earlier in the offense. Otherwise, the Hawks are going to keep playing that quasi-zone, and that just kills the whole momentum and flow of the game. And I think he knows that, and he's going to do that.
Yeah. Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying I think he's got to be more aggressive earlier on in the offensive possession. They're playing that half zone on him where he's in no man's land. He doesn't know, hey, should I pass it? Are they doubling me? Who's the open man? Because there is no open man because, the guy who's doubling him is really still kind of on his man.
Right.
So it's like Randall's either got to make a decision. He's got to force the action. He's either got to, take it himself and draw, create the double team, the full double team, or he's got to kick it out and wait till they're not doing that half zone on him. Right. Whatever he does, I think he's just got to do it earlier in the set so that the Knicks are not, stagnant on offense like last time. I think if they do that and Reggie Bullock hits a couple of more shots, they're going to win this game easily.
Yeah. We need Bullock to definitely come through and hit some shots.
Absolutely.
We just play so much better when Bullock is hitting shots, man. We play so much better. We need him to come through and hit some shots.
Absolutely. I was really happy with the way they all played, with the exception of Randall and Bullock. But I trust those guys, and I think that they're gonna have a better game today. And I got to say one last thing. I've been watching the highlights and stuff from game one. I can't get over how loud that crowd was. It was like that was the loudest I've heard a basketball arena in many, many years, and it was still only 80% capacity. I think the state of this franchise, like in terms of our fan base, not just the front office stuff, but like the fan base, I think is really good. I think you got a whole new generation of Knicks fans that haven't even seen this team be good, other than that 1 year in 2013. That are just rabid and hungry, and that was the loudest I've heard a crowd in 20 years.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, I appreciate your call, man. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
All right, peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 7:30 p.m. on TNT. It's going to be a game, man. Make sure you're checking out Legion of Knicks. It'll be live during the game, so make sure you check that out. Couple of keys to the game that I just want to go over. Number one, don't panic and stay the course. Right? And when I say stay the course, I'm saying remember that you've been responding all season long. So don't panic. Stay that course of being mentally tough and mentally strong and respond. All season, you get down 2 or 3 games below 500, you come back. You got a tough schedule. You play hard. You prove everybody wrong. Continue to do that. Stay that course. Don't panic. And for some players, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, guys who, it's the first time in the playoffs, it may feel a little panicky. Guys like Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose, they know. They've been there. We need them to be the leaders. They say, no, we're not going to panic. We're going to stay. We're going to be the team that we are. We got to double or trap Trae Young. That's what I think we need to do. I think we need to get the ball out of his hands early. Now, I'm not saying doing this the entire game. You can't do it the entire game. You'll get killed. Maybe the end of the half. Right? So the end of the half in the first game, Tom Thibodeau brought in Frank Ntilikina to guard Trae Young. Well, I'm going to say this time, 2 minutes to go in the half, start throwing a couple of traps. Right? Send 2 people high like you did against Damian Lillard. 2 people real high and everybody else playing the gaps, playing the passing lanes. See if we can get the ball out of his hands. Then go to it in the fourth quarter if you see that it works. You get the ball out of his hands, make other people have to create. Because right now, he's creating everything. Obviously, we got to close out to the shooters. Right? If we're able to stop Trae Young, throw 2 at him, make him give up the ball, we got to make sure we're getting out to the shooters. All right, so like G-Mo said, you can't always be so deep into the paint that you don't have enough time to get out. We've been doing that all season long. Right, and if we do stop Trae Young, that means the ball is going to these shooters a heck of a lot more, meaning that they have many more chances to get hot. Like Cash Baby said, they got some guys that can knock it out. So we got to make sure we're closing out to those shooters. We need to send flashers when they quasi-double Julius Randle. When they send that quasi-double team, like it's a zone, we got to send flashers into the middle of the floor, the high post, right there into the middle of the paint. Then we got to hit those flashers. Easy little layups. Give me little jump shots. Those type of things. Then we got to take and convert good shots. Right? We're allowing the Hawks to dictate what we do on the offensive side of the floor. Right? We got to take back control of what we do and figure out ways to get back to our basketball game and then take good shots and convert those good shots. I think we do these things, we're going to have a chance to win anyway, but we do these things, we'll be in very good position to win this basketball game. And then talk to Cash Baby on the pregame, on the postgame. So before I get out of here, I'm going to let these guys add to these keys. And then I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Andy, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, Sim. Maybe it's not like I'm not going to add a thing, but I think what I would want the players to do, I would want them to run so hard and play with such a high energy that they're going to call for subs. I didn't see, and I understand that's not maybe professional for a basketball player in the NBA in the playoffs, but I just want them to play so hard that they're just going to, have a signal to Thibs, okay, I want to go out, insert those guys for, 7-8 minutes and let them play so hard. The other thing is, I think we're going to win the game without Thibs making any adjustments. He's going to have exactly the same game plan, and we're going to get a W. I don't know what Nate is going to do. If I was Nate, I would, make some adjustments and try to, shock the Knicks, but I think it's not going to work, and I think that's going to be the scenario of this game, and I think it's not even going to be a close game. I think it's going to be almost a 20-point game for the Knicks. From other things, let's remember, guys, get those thumbs up because we ain't gonna see who's Mark in the panel again. Remember, he was asking for those thumbs up.
Right.
Yeah, and
wait,
yeah,
did he say he'll never miss another show again or something like that?
Mark,
remember, we gotta get the average up. So.
Mark B. Wallace. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And guys, the last thing, shout out to Julito, who's going to be on today's Knicks Twitter Spaces with Monica, Kazim, and Steve Novak in a couple of minutes. So when we wrap up, just jump in there.
Yeah, go check that out.
See us, Julito representing us. So
yeah, go check that out. No doubt about it. Isaiah?
Sim, another beautiful show. We had the great Andy in here. We had you, of course, Guillermo, everybody in here, man. The entertainer, Cash Baby. Listen, I love the energy, Cash Baby. We all love the energy. Keep doing it. We'll win or loss, even though you guys are going to lose. So, Sim, there's an interesting thing that I found out. Did you know after Randall has a bad game, I believe like when he scores like 15 points on bad efficiency, do you know his stats after literally the next game after?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure, he bounces back and drops about 30.
Yeah, it's about 30, 12, and 6. He gets every game after he has a bad game. So, listen, I'm excited. I cut the beard, Sim, just so we can win this game. I felt the bad juju on the beard. What, Andy?
No, not about you. Just
no, but so Sim, again, to me, the game points. I agree with you. Double trade, get up on them, don't sag off. Listen, I'm comfortable. I'm not comfortable losing, but if we lose because of Clint Capella versus Trae Young, I'll take that. But we're going to win. Listen, we got to play nasty. And Sam, I'm with you with, listen, if the Knicks, I don't want Knicks fans to start worrying if we start off slow. Because we started off slow last game and we picked it up. Don't be scared of the first punch to the mouth. Don't be scared.
Well, hopefully tonight we're delivering the first punch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I want the first punch. I really do. But I listen. I agree. We get the first punch. Play nasty. Ball movement. When ball movement, these guys have to move the ball to be efficient. And we gotta hit the open shots. And if we're open, we have to make them. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. But we're gonna win this game, Sim. We're gonna have a fun time tonight. Cash Baby's gonna call in. Mark's gonna hopefully be here. It's gonna be a fun night. I feel it. And let's go, man. We're gonna have a Sim. I'm calling it. I'm a Charles Barkley guarantee. When we win tonight, you will have over 1,000 people in this live chat.
Let's see.
I guarantee it.
Well, let's go get us a
people when we
win.
win tonight.
Well, let's go get us a win first. Let's start there. And looks like Guillermo has some work to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head up out of here. I appreciate you all. Make sure you check us on the post game tonight, about 10:15, soon as the game is off. And, yeah, I might as well get back and play this intro again from a man, Drugs Only. Yeah, let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. Catch me tonight. I'm out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.